November 8th, 2018. That was the date that Daniel Bryan gave AJ Styles a low blow on a random episode of SmackDown and stole the WWE Championship from the man that had previously held it for 371 days up until that point, and effectively changing his career for years to come. From this point on, Daniel Bryan will completely change his character. From what was previously the leader of the Yes Movement, a well-rounded babyface character that was loved and supported by the fans ever since he stole their heart in 2013, to a more twisted, mental, and downright angry vegan. Let's take a look back at the time Daniel Bryan became the planet's champion of the WWE. I am going to start from the time that he became WWE champion in 2018, so I'm not going to talk about any backstory. I'm not going to talk about the Yes Movement that happened in 2013, that happened in 2014, simply because I do plan on making a separate video for that, and I want it to be as detailed as possible. But basically, from the time that he became WWE champion in 2018, this guy wasted no time. He was trying to get this new character as over as he possibly could. He was trying to get this new Daniel Bryan to somehow click with the audience, and he went mad in the process. He was talking about how the people of Earth live on this planet and yet choose to actively try and destroy it. He was talking about how he was the planet's champion because he was actively trying to save the planet for the next generation. He was calling out people for everything that they ate, for everything that they wore, the fact that they were not vegans, the fact that they were not environmentalists. He was calling out any single man that did not live the lifestyle that he chose to live. This man went from saying yes, yes, yes to fickle, fickle, fickle. Bro, what the hell does that even mean? He was calling out everybody for being a waste of space on the planet. He was talking about how we should all die. He was also a vegan, so he was going crazy on mocking every single little thing that you ate that wasn't vegan based. Anything about meat was destroyed from him. No carnivore was safe with this man on the rise. No carnivore was safe. But it won't be a championship analysis video if we do not at least talk about the championship defenses that he had. So let's get into it. His first title defense on pay-per-view was of course against the man he stole the title from initially, which was AJ Styles at the TLC pay-per-view. Now, normally I would try to lie to you and say, oh, this match was amazing and, it really stood out. Otherwise, of a very lackluster and boring pay-per-view event, as per the research that I've done. I can tell you all these things about how this match was amazing because, the pay-per-view really wasn't and stuff. But honestly, up until just a few days ago when I rewatched the match, I didn't even remember that it actually happened. I forgot everything that went down on that night. I forgot every single match that went down on that night at TLC 2018. Damn, no wonder WWE stopped doing events in December, man. They really suck. I mean, you're telling me that you remember every single thing that went down on the TLC 2019 pay-per-view event. Every single thing, every detail, every match, you remember it. The main event, the starter, and in the middle. You telling me that you remember all of... Wait, hold on a second. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, this match was amazing, and I really did enjoy it when I rewatched it back. It was a very decent match, and obviously Bryan retains the title after a surprise small package against Styles to pick up the win. And now we move to January of 2019, and the next event on the calendar is of course the Royal Rumble event, the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, and Bryan would once again defend the title against Styles in another rematch. But before we got to this event, we got a segment between AJ and Vince where Vince slapped AJ claiming that he wants to see that dog in him. And AJ responded by slapping Vince back and busted him open. I don't think it's really important to mention that in this video, but I just wanted to. We get to the Rumble in January, and watching this back, I think this is one of the least interesting matches that they've ever had. It was definitely a much slower pace, and I'm not saying that it's a bad match. It's still a good match, but compared to the other matches that they've had, it definitely could have been better, especially since it was on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. Now, would I put this in the top 5 out of every single match that they've ever had? Well, yeah, because they've only had 5 matches. But anyways, Daniel Bryan retains the title, and oh, I almost forgot to mention that the reason that Bryan retains on this night is because Eric Rowan shows up and becomes Bryan's new bodyguard, I guess is what you could say. But from this point on, Bryan would associate himself with Rowan, and Rowan would get a front seat from the madness that would become the planet's champion from this point on. And now we move to the most dangerous stop on the road to WrestleMania, is what WWE tend to say year after year, the Elimination Chamber show. But before we got there, before we got to the Elimination Chamber show, let's just hold on, let's just pause and break for a second. Because before the Chamber, Bryan decided that he does not want the traditional leathered strap WWE Championship. Instead, what he wanted was an environmentally friendly WWE Championship, thus introducing, and I hope that I say this correctly, the handcrafted wooden custom-made WWE title, made from environmental products such as wood, sticks, stones, rocks. Pretty sure stones and rocks are the same thing, and any single other product that is environmentally friendly and, you know, it protects the environment. He did not want the leathered strap because, well, we all know where the leather comes from. But instead, he wanted a wooden made WWE Championship. Real quick, before the video continues, I don't know about you. I don't know what you say. I don't know what you think about it. But the wooden strap WWE Championship, the wooden made, custom made, wooden WWE Championship is so beautiful. I have a love for this title so very much. I don't know what it means to you. I don't know what you think about it. I don't know if you think it looks bad. But for me, it legit looked better than the WWE title that we had at the time. The leathered strap WWE title we had at the time. Just look at this thing. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I can see why you introduced this thing. It's not only environmentally friendly, but it's eye friendly as well, if you know what I mean. So yeah, anyways, he throws the leather strap WWE Championship in the trash, and yeah, we move forward. Around this time, multiple people started piling up in order to get their shot at the WWE title. AJ was obviously the one that stepped up first because he believes as though he was robbed out of the match that he had with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. He believes that if it wasn't for the involvement of Eric Rowan, then he would have definitely beaten Bryan for the title on that night. So he wanted another match. But then other stars started stepping up in order to state their claim why they needed to have that WWE title opportunity next. Stars such as Randy Orton, Mustafa Ali, Jeff Hardy, and finally Samoa Joe, who got the coldest, hardest promo of the entire year. I will never be able to do these things justice, so I suggest you go watch it back. But basically, what this man said is that I didn't come here to beg for opportunities. I came to put a champion to sleep. And I know that if Randy gets in my way, I'm going to have to defang a Viper. And trust me, when I do it, Randy, it ain't going to come out of nowhere. And then Jeff just tries to be a smartass, tries to interject himself into the convo. And then Samoa Joe drops the coolest line out of this entire segment. Hey, Jeff, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you pretend like this is an APA meeting and you shut your ass up while I'm sharing with the group? And the whole arena just goes crazy. And he ends it off with, and AJ, come on, man. Just be honest with me. How's our old girl Wendy doing? You know, which results in a brawl. Every single man starts fighting with each other. Everybody's beating everybody. Bryan is able to escape out of the ring. He's standing on top of the announce table. You know how this shit goes. He's busy bragging. He's busy talking about how he's a WWE champion until Shane O'Mac shows up on the screen and informs Bryan that because of the chaos that he's caused, pretty sure it wasn't him, but because of the chaos that he's caused, he will now have to defend the WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. From here, he would have to defend the WWE title inside the Elimination Chamber match. And we all know the story of this match. We all know the story of the Elimination Chamber in 2019. The official beginning of Kofi Mania. This match started off with Samoa Joe and Daniel Bryan. And these two just had kind of a feeling out process until every single superstar was released from the pod. The third one was Kofi Kingston. And then next we had AJ Styles and then Randy Orton and then Jeff Hardy. Not in that order specifically, but every single man was able to make it out of the chamber. And then we had some huge eliminations that would lead to future matches down the line, such as how Randy Orton eliminated AJ Styles, which set up their WrestleMania match, and Kofi Kingston eliminating Randy Orton, which set up their match at SummerSlam of that very same year. But despite all this, Kofi Kingston would have an amazing performance in the chamber match, making it all the way to the final 2 after eliminating Randy Orton. And even though Bryan finished the chamber from bell to bell, that was actually supposed to be the talking point. The talking point of how Bryan started the chamber and he ended it. The talking point was supposed to be how Bryan won the Elimination Chamber, went bell to bell, and retained this beautiful looking championship. But the talking point was how Kofi Kingston had performed so well in the chamber match. This was the first time that he had ever officially contended for the WWE Championship, and he had an amazing performance. And thus, the moment, the hype, and the match of Kofi Mania was officially born. I do plan to make a future video about how good Kofi Mania was and everything that went down, and I want it to be as detailed as possible. So because of that, I won't go into detail for what happened afterwards, but basically the New Day were pushing for Kofi Kingston to get a WWE title opportunity against Daniel Bryan. They were pushing on it, they were pushing for it on screen, but behind the scenes, the man that was pushing for it was also Daniel Bryan. He wanted to give the title off to Kofi Kingston because he felt as though they were onto something special, because, you know, in 2014 he experienced the same rise. He saw the rise of Kofi Kingston, he saw the rise of Kofi Mania, and he wanted to capitalize on it before WWE missed the opportunity. So behind the screens, Daniel Bryan was heavily pushing for WWE to give Kofi this match at WrestleMania and reject the original plan, which was meant to be Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship, which I think Owens was supposed to win, but I'm not even sure about that. On screen, the New Day were pushing. Behind the screens, it was Daniel Bryan. But on screen, Vince McMahon didn't believe that Kofi Kingston needed/deserved the WWE title match. So he was actively trying to snipe him out. He was actively trying to prove that Kofi did not deserve to be the WWE champion. And despite of all of this, Shane and Steph still decided to give him a chance at that year's Fastlane. So they made it official. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan one-on-one for the WWE Championship at the final stop on the road to Mania 35. But before they could actually sign the contract and make it a done deal, Vince would swap him out in favor of the plan that they had originally for WrestleMania 35 for Kevin Owens. And then he later made it a triple threat match by introducing Mustafa Ali, which Daniel Bryan would obviously retain. We get to New York, MetLife Stadium, over 80,000 people in attendance. We get to the middle of the show. Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, WWE title on the line. This beautiful WWE title on the line, might I add. And in a very emotional, dramatic, very fun, very, I wouldn't say crazy, but very entertaining match, Trouble in Paradise. 1, 2, 3. And Kofi Kingston is the WWE champion. And Bryan had did it. He had created a star from the championship reign that he had put on. The show that he had for the WWE Universe since he won the title in November of 2018 finally came into fruition, and Kofi Kingston became a star. To put it simply, Daniel Bryan's run as the Planet's champion was everything that the WWE needed at the time. It was something new, it was something fresh, and it was something very organic. We always talk about memorable moments that we get from the 2010s. Because, you know, WWE in the 2010s wasn't as good as it was in the Ruthless Aggression era. There were some very bad booking decisions. There were some very questionable stars throughout the years. So we always look at the most important and the most memorable moments. Among these moments that we can think of at the top of our heads is Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker Part 2. Once in a Lifetime again with The Rock versus John Cena. The Hell in a Cell match, Triple H versus Undertaker. The Summer of CM Punk. Daniel Bryan's triumph at WrestleMania 30. Seth Rollins' cash in at WrestleMania 31. And among many other beautiful moments, such as Seth Rollins' Intercontinental Championship reign. AJ Styles' 371-day reign, AJ Styles' rivalry with Samoa Joe, and finally Bryan's Planet's Champion run with the WWE Championship. Well, actually not finally, because the final thing is Kofi Mania, but you get what I am saying. Because the WWE needed something new, needed something fresh and organic at the time, and Bryan's Planet's Champion run was able to give them that. Through 2017 and 2019, the best part of Friday Night SmackDown was in 2017, it was the beginning, the very beginning, right before we get to Mania. In 2018, it was AJ Styles' title reign, especially the Samoa Joe feud. And in 2019, it was Daniel Bryan's Planet's Champion run. This man went from being the biggest babyface in the entire planet to becoming the most despised heel. From yes, yes, yes to fickle, fickle, fickle. What a time it was to be alive when Daniel Bryan